Hello dear students, I am Pavitra Misra, Assistant Professor, Department of History, Government Model College, Kaziranga. Today I am going to discuss on a very important topic, that is the 18th century debate in Indian history. The objective of this discussion is to make students understand the different approaches of historians in the study of 18th century in Indian history. First of all, we should know why is the 18th century is important in Indian history. The 18th century is very important in Indian history, especially for two reasons or aspects. In 1707, Mughal Emperor died. Since the death of Mughal Emperor, there have been a political chaos in Mughal Empire. The entire centralized Mughal Empire, you can see the emergence of the sign of fragmentations. On the one hand, we can see the emergence of small regional political states like Bengal, Hyderabad, Awadh. On the other hand, we can also see the emergence of Jats, Marathas to the front using their martial powers. The, the second important aspect is the departure point. From 1757, when the Battle of Plassey was fought, 1764, when the Battle of Buxar was fought, we can see the emergence of British control started showing in India. These two important aspects have made the 18th century a very important and highly debatable period. The 18th century is debated by many historians. They have very strong and contrasting viewpoints as far as the 18th century is concerned. They basically focus on 3 points. First, the nationalist historians like J.N. Sarkar, Marxist-oriented economic historians like Irfan Habib, Athar M. Ali try to understand the 18th century from the viewpoint that the 18th century was a century of decline or crisis or a century of dark age. The other group of historians who try to understand the 18th century, uh, who try to argue that it was not a century of decline, they try to understand it. The 18th century was a century of growth. This viewpoint was basically initiated by C.A. Valley. The other historians who are ascribed to this viewpoint are Muzaffar Alam, Joy Subramaniam, etc. The third important aspect that historians try to understand the 18th century is whether the century was a continuity or break from the earlier century. This aspect of continuity or break is very much related to the above two aspects. Historians who are ascribed to these viewpoints are Asim Das Gupta, Barton Stein, and C.A. Bailey. If we see the very studies of the historians, uh, it is known the fact that the 18th century cannot be ascribed only a period as a period of decline or dark age, be it politically or socially or economically. The 18th century was an eventful period, a gap between dark and prosperity. It was a period marked by changes. In this period, we can see the emergence of regional states and indigenous economic and cultural elements were sucked in by the British rule. We can see the major developments in the field of art and architecture and literature, music, etc.